Coming up on Varsity Sports, the hottest basketball headlines heading into the playoff push.
And not many players have the basketball pedigree that Lexi Klabo has, but it's her hard work that's made her one of the best players in North Dakota. We will go one-on-one with the Fargo Davies greats.
The Thunder Report is back, racking up the biggest dunks in the Dakotas, all part of Candy's basketball forecast.
All that, plus we'll have a special edition of our basketball picks coming up next on Varsity Sports.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Varsity Sports. I'm Tom Neiman in for Jay Elson, who is out this week.
Yeah, we miss him, but I have a feeling he'll make an appearance later in the show.
He will be here in cardboard spirit coming up later to make his picks. All right, Jandy, headlines coming up first here this week. And let's get to it, starting in Class B in North Dakota, Best of the Bees.
The best of the Bees was the best of the Bees. Tuesday night we saw an incredible game between Four Winds Minnewacan and Rugby, number 1 versus number 2. The last 22 points of the game, 20 of them were scored by Rugby, and they still were only down by 1 point, and they ended up losing the game by 1 point. A thriller in Four Winds Minnewacan.
All right, the headline is Out to Win.
Out to win. It's time to crank up the postseason schedule. The ladies in Class B in North Dakota will get started with tournament play on Friday, and then region play will start a week from Monday.
All right, sticking in North Dakota, the headline, Jason, is Shanley keeps rolling.
They do keep rolling. It's hard to believe. A 31-game win streak right now for the Shanley girls. They will be tested, have a couple tough road games before the playoffs start, but right now they are the team to beat. A big win over Fargo Davies last Saturday. They absolutely crushed them, 86-42. That was against a ranked team, Tom.
Shanley's unbeaten at 15-0, is that right?
Yes.
The headline, back in South Dakota, Cavalier attack.
Yeah, the Cavalier had a chance. Ron Colley had a chance to play a class up against O'Gorman. Played with them for a while, but ended up taking their first loss of the year, 66-59 in O'Gorman's home gym, and O'Gorman moves to 12-4 in the year.
Had the Tigers by the tail.
Yes, Washington, the boys. This was a couple weeks ago. We had a football show last week, so we wanted to make sure we showed this three-quarters court shot to win the game for Marshall, giving Washington just their second loss of the year, both of those coming to out-of-state teams.
All right, Marshall's 20-4, by the way, on the season
Good
in
team.
Minnesota. Premier event.
Yes, the Premier Center, the Denny Sanford Premier Center, had their first high school basketball games on Tuesday night. Roosevelt played O'Gorman, girls and boys. We had a thriller in the first one where O'Gorman eked it out, and then the O'Gorman boys took care of business in the nightcap.
All right, good to see high school games in there. And finally, a football note, Notre Dame lands Lincoln.
Yes, and I have to make a personal apology to Lincoln Feist. Last week we did our signing day show, and I totally missed this one. Kind of went under the radar. Lincoln Feist had a couple of preferred walk-on offers at the FBS level. He had an Oregon choice, he had a Notre Dame choice, and he ended up deciding to go to Notre Dame to walk on. And his sister already attends Notre Dame, and his mom went to law school at Notre Dame, so he had a couple connections there, but has to walk on at Notre Dame. Good for Lincoln Feist.
He's going to go Rudy, right?
He's
Do
going
high
to go
school
Rudy.
kids know the movie Rudy?
I'm sure they do. That's a classic.
All right, when we come back on Varsity Sports, find out how this senior piled up 1,000 points in her career despite missing almost an entire year on the court.
Varsity Sports on Midco Sports Network is presented by AE Tech Electrical Training Center in Rapid City. Varsity Sports on Midco Sports Network is presented by Shields.
Welcome back to Varsity Sports. All season, the guys here have been bringing you stories of the region's best high school basketball players. This week, we take a closer look at a future University of North Dakota player, Alexis Klabo, at Fargo Davies. Here's Jason with more.
Thanks, Tom. Nature or nurture? It's one of those debates that rarely finds a good answer. Lexi Klabo, though, seems to have both sides of this debate covered. She's got some of the best genes in the state of North Dakota from her dad, Darren, who was one of the best high school basketball players in the state. She's also been nurtured along the way by a great supporting cast, including her dad, coaches, an aunt who played at NDSU, and her stepmom who played at UND. But it's her own hard work that's made her one of the best players in North Dakota.
Introducing your number 21, Alexis Klabo.
Lexi Klabo has always been around basketball, and it shows. She has a feel for the game that few possess, and it all starts with a strong surrounding family that loves basketball.
Yeah, my dad, he always has something to say about basketball. He's helped me a lot. He's really helped me grow in the game. but like just everybody, my aunt played at NDSU, my stepmom played at UND. They all, I don't know, they just all have like advice for me, and it's really helpful.
Well, as a parent, I mean, it's a sense of pride, obviously. She's done tremendous. You know, she spent a lot of time, she's got a tremendous work ethic, and you know, the fruits of her labor she's finally realized as of late, and some opportunity to be successful in high school, and obviously to carry that forward, hopefully in the college, is pretty neat. And yeah, she's been surrounded by sports in her immediate family, and you know, extending family too, for that matter. So it's kind of part of what we do.
But good genes can only take you so far. Lexi has put in some hard work to become one of the top players in North Dakota. Her game is so versatile that she can do almost anything on the basketball court. That versatility drew attention from colleges, but last year she decided on UND.
Well, they're a good team, and it's really exciting to play for something that is really successful, and yeah, I just like the tradition there. Like, everybody really cares about women's basketball at UND.
You know, I'm so thrilled for her to choose UND. I think it's a perfect fit for her. She's going to have a lot of fun, and I also see her contributing right away too. I think she picked the right school for her.
Her game keeps improving every year, and her high school coach, Tana Safransky, watches her do a little bit of everything for the Eagles on a nightly basis.
And she can just do so many things, so many different things. You know, she can get a rebound and take off and lead the fast break. She can handle the basketball. She can go post up. She can shoot the three. She's very multi-dimensional, and you know, it makes it tough for teams to guard her.
Lexi thinks her biggest improvement has come on the post.
Probably my post game. I haven't really played post much. I was mostly a guard my junior year, but now our team has kind of changed. We're more shorter, quicker.
Lexi's high school career hasn't always been smooth sailing. She came in as a freshman trying to help build some identity at a new school, earning more and more playing time as the year went on. Then, in her sophomore season, she missed almost the entire year due to injury. That year away made her work even harder over the past 2 seasons.
It just made me appreciate the game more, and made me want to work hard out there, because like you can like not play, like, you know, can be gone any second, so you just got to work hard while you can.
Despite playing only 2 full seasons as a starter, Lexi recently became the first 1,000-point scorer in Fargo Davies young history.
You know, she's got a lot of other stats as well. I mean, she's basically, her name is all over our record board, so you know, she does a lot of other things very well too.
Lexi and the Eagles have gotten out to a great start as they close in on the upcoming playoffs. She leads with a quiet humility, but her goals are definitely aggressive.
Well, one of our goals is to win the state championship, play in the last game on the last night, so.
All right, Jason, the numbers on the season for Lexi Klabo: almost 27 points a game, 9 rebounds, 3 block shots a game, and was up over 60% field goal shooting, sitting at 59% right now.
Look at the versatility for Lexi Klabo. And we always talk about with the great players, always have good versatility, but she takes it to another level, almost averaging a double-double, 27 points per game. She needs to start shooting more at that great percentage that she has. Her coach talked about her not just shooting under the basket, too. I mean, she was a guard up until this year most of the time, playing on the outside, so a lot of three-pointers, a lot of mid-range shots, and that's just one of the reasons Travis Brewster is so excited about getting her next year.
Well, Lexi's a 6'2" forward/center. You know, she puts it on the floor well. She knocks down shots. I mean, in her high school team, she breaks the press. So we're really excited about her. But she has tenacity about her. You know, her family's been obviously very well known in the sports world here in North Dakota. I think she can help us. I really do. I think she can contribute right away. You know, the big thing about Lexi is her basketball IQ. She's a smart player, you know, and she's got a little bit of fire in her belly when she plays the game.
A lot of fun to watch her over the next 4 years.
All right, great player. Coming up later in the show here on Varsity Sports, Jay will be here kind of to make his picks, but up next, some of the best dunks in the last couple of weeks in Jason's Thunder Report.
Varsity Sports on Midco Sports Network is presented by AE Tech Electrical Training Center in Rapid City. Varsity Sports on Midco Sports Network is presented by Shields.
Welcome back to Varsity Sports. Time for a basketball forecast, and it's part art, it's part science, neither of which Jandy has a very good grasp on. So here is some objective guessing, you call it, and reporting in the basketball forecast.
Yes, and our first report comes from some of the hot temperatures, the hot scores put up in North Dakota, and as you can see, Deshaun Eikens, this guy averages over 20 points a week, put up a big 36-point performance against Dickinson and Aaron Moody in the same game, but Moody came up with 33, hit 8 triples in that game. Huge game for him. Dalton Poitras always over 30 points. Noah Wanzik, 31 points in a loss. He had a huge game, but wasn't enough to get the win over Turtle Mountain. And then John Puritan, 39 points last week, had a 27-point performance on Tuesday. Adam White is always over 30 points in Ellendale. And on the east side of the state, you see a couple big 20, 24, and 26-point averages from Melvin Collins and Kelvin Kaga. That's big at the Class A level. And then the ladies on the east side of the state, Sarah Hagler with a 33-point performance, and Whisper Gord, 36 points for Warwick. Let's look in South Dakota now and see who's hot. Creighton LeBeau averaged 27 points over his last 2 games last week. Brianna Phillips, and this is not a point total, folks. This is a rebound total, 22 boards. And her team only scored 31 points in the game. Great job by her. And then Sam McLeod in Rapid City is averaging a double-double this year, put up 32 points against his rival, Rapid City Central, in their win, 32 points for him. And then you see the 400 from Frank Cutler. That is his 400th career victory. Congratulations to the coach. That's a huge accomplishment for him. And then Colin Kramer had a triple-double, averaged 22.5 points per game, and Braxton Elliott went crazy last week with a 27 and a 28-point performance. All right, time to look at our Thunder Report. You know, we love dunks here on Varsity Sports, and these are some of the best that we've seen over the last, it's been about 4 weeks since we've done this, and we need to do this more often because Sioux Valley has enough dunks to have their own segment. This is Austin Dybert who goes in with the 2-hand, and then you see his teammate Colin Kramer, who's always on this segment, takes it one hand. We got to reverse that and see that again. Look at this. He splits the defense, one hand, and throws it down, and then on the other side of the court, takes it two-handed. A very versatile dunker in Volga, Colin Kramer. Let's take a look at another great dunker. It's Trayvon McKay. We finally get to see some North Dakota dunks. Look at this on the break with a little shimmy on the rim. That's what you can do when you're wide open on the other side. Trayvon McKay with the flush. And then maybe our favorite dunker on the show, Dangu. Look at this. For Marshall, number 33 does not want any part of Dangu. He acts like he does. Look at this. He acts like he wants a part of him and then says, "Excuse me, I can't handle Dangu." And all you got to do is keep the video recorder on for maybe a quarter or a couple quarters, and you're going to get at least 1 or 2 Dangu dunks. Here's another one. He fakes to the right side, comes back left, and just powers it in. Nobody can stop Dangu. And now for our Zach Anderson portion of the show. And we had to reserve a couple extra minutes on the show for Zach Anderson because he keeps finding ways to dunk the basketball. This one, he comes baseline, takes the oop, and just flushes it. And then this is not a replay, folks. He does it again. Same team, same baseline, same dunk. You think he likes the baseline dunks, Tom?
Impressive.
Have they scouted Zach Anderson? He loves the baseline. You got to stop him. But you know what? He's a versatile dunker. He doesn't just do it on the baseline. He can take it off the glass on the fast break and flush it down with 2 hands. That takes skill on not only the part of the passer, but look at how high Zach Anderson gets. And then he can take it by himself on the break. So we've got baseline, we've got fast break dunking, we've got a one-on-one, slicing it past his man and taking it one-handed down the middle of the lane. We've got a special GoPro camera installed in Parker just for Zach Anderson and his awesome dunks. And this might be the best one. The entire defense collapses in the lane, and he says, "You can't go as high as I can. I'll take it right over the top." And Zach Anderson, it's hard to match that. I understand you don't want to compare yourself to Zach Anderson, but if you have a dunk, let us know about it here on Varsity Sports, and we'll include you on the Thunder Report. Well, let's take you out of the forecasting part of the show with a look at some of the best games over the next 7 days. A lot of good ones, a lot of close ones. You see the computer models making these games very close over the next 7 days, including a number 1 versus number 2 battle on Saturday between Roncalli and Del Rapids. It does give Roncalli the advantage, but I have a feeling we might make some picks on that one later in the show.
We will. They're playing that game in Mitchell, right?
They are, the DWU Classic.
I was going to go with Colin Kramer, but the kid from Parker is unbelievable. Wow.
Man, and they've been storing those dunks up for the last few weeks because we haven't done this every week. And, man, can you imagine in 3 weeks how many more dunks we're going to see?
Very cool. All right, up next, we get out on the fast break. 5 quick questions with Jason and Derek.
Varsity Sports on Midco Sports Network is presented by AE Tech Electrical Training Center in Rapid City. Varsity Sports on Midco Sports Network is presented by Shields.
Welcome back to Varsity Sports. Time to get out on the fast break. 5 quick questions here for Jason and Dare. We're going to put up the 35-second question clock. And here is the first one, Jason. Talk about some bracketology. If you're putting together a bracket for North or South Dakota, regardless of class, any of the teams that you think would be number 1 or 2 seeds, regardless of class?
Okay, well, normally you just assume that those big classes, AA in South Dakota and A in North Dakota, are going to soak up those what would be 1 and 2 seeds if you did it college style. But there are a few teams outside that top class, I think, that would be 1 or 2 seeds. And I think St. Thomas More girls would definitely be a 1 seed if you did a girls tournament. I think Minot Bishop Ryan girls have proved that they can play with the best in the state. They'd be a 1 or a 2 seed. I think the Roncalli boys showed a lot by playing tough against O'Gorman. They might be a number 2 seed if you looked at the boys' side. And based on Tuesday night's game, I think Four Winds Minnewacan and Rugby, either one, could be a 1 or 2 seed.
Not all about the big schools.
Not all about the big schools.
All right, question number 2. Playoffs coming up. Evaluate the champion's chances to repeat on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best chance to repeat.
Boy,
All right.
we got about a month to go, so let's try.
North Dakota boys, Class A, Fargo Davies, defending champions.
They probably have a 4 or a 5 out of 10 chance to do that.
All right. North Dakota boys B, Fargo Oak Grove.
They get a better chance, but that's a tough class. I'd say maybe a 7.
Okay. North Dakota girls A, Fargo Shanley.
They've got a 10. They're rolling. 31 wins in a row.
Locked in. North Dakota girls B, Minot Bishop Ryan.
That's another 10. I mean, they're locked and loaded.
Okay. In South Dakota boys AA, Sioux Falls Roosevelt, defending champs.
Give them a 4.
Okay. In Class A, Madison.
About a 6.
South Dakota boys B, James Valley Christian.
About a 2.
South Dakota girls AA, Sioux Falls, Washington.
About a 4, a little less than half.
South Dakota girls A, St. Thomas More.
I think they're on that 10 level as well.
South Dakota girls B, Warner.
Give them an 8. They're not the favorites, but they're right up there.
All right. Question number 3, Jason. Which class, boys or girls in South Dakota, the most parity right now?
In South Dakota, I would say the Class B boys. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I thought Platte Geddes was number 1, locked and loaded, and I thought Woolsey Wessington was a little behind them. Well, now I think Woolsey Wessington's the best, but it's really anybody's game. I mean, you could see a team like Platte, who was ranked at number 1 at the beginning of the season, make a run in March. We've still got 1 fun month of basketball to go.
A lot of good teams in South Dakota boys B. All right, question 4, same question in North Dakota. Most parity, which class?
I think boys B as well. We saw an awesome battle Tuesday night against Rugby and Four Winds Minnewacan. They played right down to the last second, and they're probably considered the 2 best teams. But then you've got the defending champs, Fargo Oak Grove, right in that mix. I think New England is getting better and better and could be a title contender. A couple other teams that just got their first loss of the year. Wide open field in North Dakota B.
All right, last one. Are there any current players from North Dakota or South Dakota who will someday be considered all-time greats in their state?
All right, well, we're going to start with Sarah Jacobson. I think she's already established that she is one of the all-time greats for Shanley. Unbelievable to watch her on a daily basis. I think you have to look at freshman Deshaun Eikens. This guy's already averaging over 20 points a game in Williston. I know he's a little young to start talking all-time greats, but he was put on a list of one of the top 5 players in the Midwest nationwide, one of the top 25 players nationwide. A little early to gauge, but man, he is good so far. And then South Dakota, I don't think none of the all-time greats don't really come to mind. Maybe Alexis Swedlin. She's a really good shooter.
Are you basing this just on their high school play or
on
what
their
they
high
would
school.
do after high school?
No, I'm talking about high school
Okay. All right.
play. Who's going to be one of the high school greats? We just saw one of the greats, Macy Miller, last year graduate, and we know she'll be on those lists. But I think 10 years from now, who we're going to remember as high school greats in South Dakota, nobody really pops out.
All right, there you go. When we come back on Varsity Sports, time to pick 'em, plus the upset picks of the week.
Varsity Sports on Midco Sports Network is presented by AE Tech Electrical Training Center in Rapid City. Varsity Sports on Midco Sports Network is presented by Shields.
Welcome back to Varsity Sports. Jay Elson couldn't be here this week, but playing the part of Jay Elson for his picks to keep it consistent will be Tom Neiman today. Jay, you had a great week last week, going 4-0 on your picks.
I did, thank you.
You pulled within a couple points, but I still got a little lead on you. Let's get started with this week's picks, and as always,
That's for long, pal. Okay.
We will start in North Dakota boys, and I'm going to start with the Red River West Fargo game. I think this one should be an interesting game. Both teams have been up and down all year long, very even in the standings. This one will go a long way to seeding for the districts. I do, however, think Red River is just not got enough to win on the road at this point in West Fargo, so I'm going to go with the Packers.
I agree. Two good teams, West Fargo.
Very, very good, Jay. All right, let's move on to the North Dakota girls. Same two teams. This one is being played in Red River. Again, both teams have been up and down. I think West Fargo has been on the uphill climb here for the last couple weeks with some impressive road wins. I think they get another impressive road win over Grand Forks Red River.
You are totally wrong on this one. Red River beat them by 21 the first time they played Red River.
It's a lot different this time, though, Jay. We'll take a look.
Fine, you're wrong.
All right, well, let's take a look now. Moving into South Dakota, on the boys' side, we see number 1 versus number 2 in Class A. This one should be a dandy. They set this one up. Both teams were eligible in the DWU Classic, and of course the pairings, the seed makers, clash these two across, which will be a lot of fun to see. This might be a preview of the state title game. I think Ron Colley usually has a better inside game than Del Rapids. This year, it feels like Del Rapids might have that advantage on the inside, but with the way Ron Colley's been playing lately, I don't think anybody beats him.
I love Ty Hoagland, but I'm going with Ron Colley as well. This game's going to be played in Mitchell. Ron Colley's already played there once this year, beat Sioux Valley, and Ron Colley's only had one game where they've had won by less than 10 points, and that was against St. Thomas More. Ron Colley will be the winner in this one.
We'll agree on that one. Let's move to South Dakota girls now, where we see Pierre taking on O'Gorman. Now, O'Gorman, will they ever lose this season? This one will be fun. O'Gorman's coming off of a really tough part of their schedule. This might be one of those games that sneaks in, and Pierre has a chance, but I don't have quite the guts enough to pick Pierre in this one. I think it'll be close. I think O'Gorman keeps rolling.
You're making it sound closer than it's going to be. OG, baby.
Big time?
Big time.
Upset picks of the week, and my upset pick is going to be Sioux Falls Roosevelt, the boys. They're still on the uphill climb as well. They're playing better as of the last month of the season. I think they take out a 2-loss Aberdeen Central team on Thursday night.
I'm taking the Huron Tigers over Brandon Valley on Friday. Mild upset, but it could be an upset there. Huron over BV.